year I was asked if I have a video about making a draft row. I was reading the list with all your requests and I came up with an idea of how to knit one. This is my mother's draft row. Today I will knit a cover for it. The diameter of the draft row is 31 centimeters or 12 inches. Now let's measure the length. The length of the draft row is 105 centimeters or 41 inches. This is my stockinette stitch test swatch. 10 centimeters or 4 inches is equal to 29 stitches and 56 rows. This means that I need to raise 2.9 needles and knit 5.6 rows per 1 centimeter of fabric. I will sew a zipper so I can remove the cover easily. My zipper is 22 centimeters long. So this is what I have in my mind. My draft row cover will have 3 sections. We will start from section A with tubular knitting. Section B will be for the zipper and I will knit an open tube. The last section will be tubular knitting again. The needed length of my draft row cover is 105 centimeters. I decided to make section A 10 centimeters. The hole for the zipper must be at least 5 centimeters smaller than the zipper length, so section B will be 16 centimeters. Then there are 79 centimeters left for section C. Now let's calculate the stitches and the rows needed for the project. To find the number of stitches, we have to multiply the diameter of the draft row by our stitch gauge. I need to use 90 needles in total. To find the number of the rows, we need to multiply the centimeters for each section by our row gauge information. As you can see, we have to knit 112 rows for section A, 180 rows for section B, and 884 rows for section C. I have doubled the rows because we will knit tubular and my test swatch was knitted flat in stockinette stitch. Now let's start knitting. First, make sure the racking handle is in its highest position. Now raise 45 needles on the front bed. I will raise 45 needles to the right of the center. Place the edge springs on the last working needles. Now raise the opposite 45 needles on the back bed of the machine. Then place the edge springs on the last working needles. It should look like this. Now arrange the needles on both beds in 1-to-1 division as shown in the video. Both end working needles must be on the back bed of the machine. On the front bed, move the edge springs on the last working needles. It should look like this. Now set both locks to CX and the stitch size to 1. Insert the black strippers and take the main yarn. Now knit 2 rows. Put all 45 needles on each bed in working position. On the front bed, move the edge springs to the last working ones. Then tap on the needles to tighten the yarn. Increase the stitch size to 4 on both locks. Now knit 2 rows. Tap on the needles after each knitted row to tighten the yarn. At this point, the cast on is finished. Clear the row counter and increase the stitch size on both locks to 5. Then knit 112 rows to make section A. Don't forget to tap on the needles when knitting the first few rows. Clear the row counter, then set both locks to BX and press both left arrow keys. On the front bed, raise pushers under all working needles and put them in resting position. Then on the back bed, raise pushers under all working needles and put them in working position. Now need 180 rows to make section B. Don't forget to support me by liking the video. Clear the row counter, set both locks to CX and press both 0 keys to disengage the arrow keys. Now need 884 rows to make section C. We are almost ready. Take the yarn from the eyelet, pull it out and cut it. Thread it in the double-eye bodkin tool and sew off all stitches. Start from the rightmost stitch on the front bed and take all stitches in a circular manner. To gather the sides easily, you can start by making a quick and dirty cast on, then transfer the stitches in 1-to-1 division before knitting the last 2 rows of section C. But if you need the row cover as shown in the video, you will have to sew up both ends at the end to close the holes fully. This is what the draft row cover looks like right after you take it from the machine. This is the hole for the zipper. You simply need to pin the zipper tape to the sides of the hole and sew it using a sewing machine. I used regular black thread and the seam is invisible. I think it looks very good, but I would love to hear your comments and ideas for sewing the zipper or knitting the cover. Tell me, how would you do it? I inserted the row and tried to gather the sides, but I found out that it's easier to gather the ends first and insert the row later. And this is the final result. I hope you will like the way I made it. Now you can see the zipper in action. That's all for today. Thank you for watching. Have a nice day and see you in my next video.